Hi all, it's Koala Chick here. I was at a stitching retreat a few years ago and saw this kit on the free to a good home table. Picked up my prize, took it home and went, nope. But I got up my courage, read that wall of text and cut everything out.
It's not that many pieces. Just 1, 2. Okay. It's a lot.
All kidding aside, it ended up not being a cross stitch, which is obvious if you'll actually look at the picture. The yarn is pretty thick, and as you can tell, that's me in real time. Okay, obviously not, but it was still mindless enough for me to catch up on some videos, podcasts, and even books. Once the base of all the pieces were done, it was time to add details. Most use backstitch as the details, and with the stick yarn, that was pretty easy. Also, I'm not putting this pattern up, as I am not the creator. If the creator of this pattern wants to contact me and let me know how people can get this, great. If not, just use this for inspiration to make your own haunted house. These spiderweb details are a bit bulky, but they're kinda cute. I almost wish I ignored these and cut the black out of the windows. This would have allowed me to put a fake candle in the house, making it light up. But hindsight is 20/20 and all that, so it'll just be a candy dish. Then I put the pieces together before double checking what the next step actually was. Put your guesses down below as to what I forgot. This here is a binding stitch, and I used my illustration to help me with it. After the initial X is done, it's down 2, then up 1, then repeat. If enough people ask, I'll make a tutorial. I then used some straight pins to figure out if the roof was ready yet. I made a few awkward discoveries. First, I needed to finish the light gray parts with an overcast stitch. The pattern itself called for me to use the dark gray yarn to make attachments, but I was skeptical. I ended up using very thin thread to put it together, matching as well as I could to the yarn. I also noticed my big mistake. I hadn't attached the shutters. The top shutters on the small windows weren't that bad, but the bottom windows, yikes. I wish I hadn't stitched together yet. I used some black thread and a back stitch just to tack it on. No, they don't close, but that hopefully means people won't play with it and break it. And by people I mean my own fidgety self. The roof over the front attic went on first, as I knew I wouldn't have access to the inside after the whole roof went on. Had I left a portion open, I could have had a light, but it's still cute as is, and it's much more useful as a box than a decoration. I slid on the front roof and whip stitched it together. Since these threads won't show, I let it be a little messy. The black doesn't show at all in the front, and it held well. Of course you can't see what I'm doing, and that makes two of us. I used the lines of the goblin to keep the roof straight, and it mostly worked. To attach the small roof to the main roof, I went by feel. I did my best to keep the needle straight, coming in as close as I could to the original stitch. What I cared about most was keeping this part strong. I don't want the roof coming off if it's being mishandled being put away by me. I'm a bit rough on my things. The balcony railing was stuck in. It's just cut black plastic canvas, but it looks so good. I need to remember this for mini making. I did my best to keep my stitching straight, but what you're not seeing is the base is turned 45 degrees, making the boxes into diamonds. Add the thick thread and I'm nearly lost. Going diagonally along made my brain hurt and I couldn't quite keep it straight. I'm glad I used the overcast on the bottom because this would have been a mess with the thick gray yarn. Plus I think it sits better this way too. The rock would have made it a bit rocky. I made a little cat last minute. It's not part of the original pattern. But what's Halloween without a cat? Just a quick French knot. A quick French knot. Okay. Take two. I looked up a tutorial, so this should work. Wrap the thread around the needle, keeping the needle still. Stick the needle in or near the same hole and gently, so gently. And, okay, one down. Okay, okay. Gently through. Don't pull too tightly. Needle still. Wrap it around. Don't pull out the other eye. Back through. Slowly, keeping that part of the thread taut. Don't let anything slip. Just keep pulling. Okay. Pull, and it's derpy. Okay, beads instead. Just two golden beads right next to each other. And I hate it. Beads a bit farther apart? Nah, still hate it. I can't tell why though. Off camera, I replaced the golden beads with orange and the thread with black. The eyes almost glow now. After securing my black thread, I put a pony bead in between the cat and the house. I want it to stand straight, but not right against the house. I want a little separation. I try to put the needle in at the same height as my knot. Back in through the cat, and the thread comes out. Of course, big needle, tiny thread, it happens. I wove the thread under the gray yarn and back out through a pony bead and the cat once more. And back through the corner of the house, into the base, and back out to the bottom of the cat. Stitch it on to secure, knot it, and thread it through the base to secure the ends. The ghost is one of the biggest details here, and it's so stinking cute. Just a few quick stitches, and it's secured. Now it's done! What do you think? It ended up not being a difficult stitch, but putting it all together was a bit of a hassle. If I ever do something like this again, I'm at least a little bit more prepared. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, stay safe and keep playing. Bye-bye!